Let's put on.
Ma'am?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it your turn or my turn?
I'm just gonna say you because I don't want to do it.
I think it is my turn anyway. Okay. 1 second. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. 1 second. Hold on a second. Okay, sorry about that. I was trying to not have too much background noise.
De nada. Oh, let's put on.
Okay, so the losers on Friday were SQQs, Nikete, MU, Vana, Open, Dix, and Target. The winners, Rivian, Wayfair, Square, Dallas, Peloton, and Netflix, and Apple, which of course you can see it surpassed that 190 mark that we had talked about. Okay. Okay. So I don't know if you got a chance to listen to Diamond Dave's call today, but
Yeah, I listened to it when I was checking email after I got back around probably like around 6 or so.
okay. So the sentiment so far is very, very bearish. We had predicted this before that this would probably get up to $20. So this is
You
American
said the
Airlines.
sentiment is bearish for
Sorry,
America?
bullish, bullish. I meant to say bullish. Bullish overall for the market. And American Airlines is in line with that. The airlines, the services are very strong. People want to go out and have fun. They think they're not, there's no chance of a recession right now. Everybody's working, so they want to live the life that they want to live.
People are
So
spending money like cray cray.
people are spending money like cray cray, and they don't think this ever gonna stop. But as you know, the bubble will burst one day. Okay, so as you can see, we have this $20 mark plotted. I believe it's gonna get there, and continue to observe it. So I'm at Monsana. As we had said, every single day this thing has been going nuts upward with the AI narrative and people putting money in this stock. It surpassed the 190 mark, and it's already going to hit 195. And as you said, it's probably going to hit 200. So will it continue? According to the sentiment, it will. So I think it's going to definitely hit 200, and we shall see if it hits that 210 mark to see if there's some sort of rejection there, but we shall see. Time will tell. So it looks like the AMD chip is starting to curve upward, Leanna. I don't know if you were able to KAT out of this, but it looks like it's starting to go back on its upward trend because it didn't hit
No, I
below.
haven't. If I did, I would have told you. I'm still in
Yeah,
that.
yeah. It looks like it's gonna be on an upward trend because it's above the 50, and it's still below. It's above the 200, and the line in the trend trajectory is still upward. So you should be careful with this. Amazona, I think it's gonna hit definitely 140. And then the highest it has been, it has been 170 or so, 170. Definitely, I think it's gonna hit the 150 mark if things keep going the way they're going. We shall see about if it passes this level first, and then see if it rejects or surpasses this level. So we'll continue to observe it. But the trend is very, very strong here. The 50 is very, very strong. So I would, I would say bullish on this. ASML is 724, is on hard buy. AZO 2493, also on hard buy. Boeing. Just flat. Really, if people wanted to get this, they have to be aware that there's going to be in a range, at least from this history since the beginning of the year. It's just basically been in a range from here to here, and it hasn't surpassed it. So if you want to trade it range bound, get the line here at 200 and then see if it goes back above that, and take your chances that way, because that's the pattern that has been showing, unless something dramatic happens, that it either goes down, breaks this 200 level, or shoots up.
I hate to say it, but I think it's heading in the upward direction.
Boeing.
See?
Yeah, I mean it hit this bottom here on the 23rd, and now it's a little flat the last couple of days, but hopefully, we'll see this trend. The 50
I
is
think
flat.
it will be heading up in the upward
The
direction.
50 is flat, but it is above it, so you may be right. Okay. Okay, Bank of America. The banks did relatively well, I believe, on Friday. They were in good sentiment because they passed the stress test or whatever. This one's above the 50. Like we have been saying, if you have to get into a banco, just get into the EBC and you'll be all right. BJ's. Looks like it's creating a flat area of support here. It didn't reach our level of 60. but the trend is very, very dramatically down. Hopefully it it does, but it may have a good couple of days because people like to buy a lot of hot dogs from BJ's and carne, 4th of July weekend and stuff like that. They like to buy in bulk. So we shall see.
Yeah, I gotta go get some carne on Monday. Some hamburger or something.
Therefore, I can understand why this is like that and not down because during these weeks people like to go, have their little mini vacation out there and they get some stuff from BJ's.
You can say that again.
That made me laugh. Caro. Okay, so it looks like it's gonna hit 230 mañana. It may hit 240, and I think that's where the rejection is really gonna be. I think that's where the rejection is gonna be. But it looks like it's hitting it for the third time, so hopefully it doesn't surpass that 240. So we shall see. Chewy, we can ignore that. Costco, we can ignore that. Very, very, very strong. If you look at Costco compared to BJ's, it's on opposite extremes. So, um, Vana, Vana. As you can see, this has been having a little cry situation, squeezing people out of their positions. If they were going short, it's the trend is obviously down, but now you have to be careful because it is above the 50, it is above the 200, but still, this narrative, you have to kind of, will this company make any money kind of deal? What are they doing? And if you think it's gonna be crap, it's a good opportunity to buy and watch it go down. But
Are
be
they
careful.
still losing money, Elisa?
It looks like they are, based on this last report in Mayo. They're still losing money. They're better, but they're still losing money and earnings here, as you can see. Not making money yet.
Yeah, I figured they were.
It is on hard buy. Dashity, dash, dash, dash. It's doing fairly well. The next level here is 80. And if it breaks this 80, 81, I would say 85, then the next level is going to hit is probably going to be here at 110. So we have to see because that might be a good opportunity to then short. Because if this thing, I don't know if it's making money yet. It's not making money, but they have been doing well. If it goes and they still haven't made money, this probably would be a good rejection area. But we shall watch it. Dashi. DraftKings, Dollar Tree. Let's look at your Dollar Tree. Okay, it looks like it didn't have a good couple of last 2 days. It rejected the 200 period and it's still below both of them. So unless you see it go above this, that's when you can really determine that it's going to fill the gap completely. So it may create a little area here, I would say, before either goes down and then it goes up. So we have to
Can we look
watch
at
what,
earnings?
yes, ma'am. Boom, boom,
Gracias.
boom. Huh?
Gracias.
De nada. Do you want to see the next one?
The
I
next,
mean, the prior,
this one, no,
you don't want
it
to see
was,
this one?
it was good. I remember it was good. You can show it, but it was good. Show it for the viewers thing.
Yes, it was good. It was good, but because it missed, of course, and it was lower, their estimates were lower. It brought this down. Okay, the favorite of all time, Miss Greens. So this should have earnings soon. When does it have earnings? So in 25 days.
I want to ask DD about EBC.
Huh?
I got to look at it again in detail.
Mm-hmm. Let me know. So as you can see, it's sort of flattish. After even this breakdown, I would say, yeah, it got down here. That was the low, the high here. went down. Now starting to pick back up. So I think it's gonna surpass the 14 because then it will fill this gap up here. And maybe it hasn't completely filled it. So yeah, we have to look out for this gap, Leanna. So that's a good possibility. And you like the stock, obviously, and it's above the 50, which is always a good sign.
Yeah, if it dips, I'll buy in, but it's in the 12s. I'm in the 12s, so I'm good with it.
Yeah, put it in the notes. So yeah, that's it. That's our default. Freshly Fresh Pet had a good day. This thing is kind of extra. Google. Let's look at this like that. So over the last year, it has been downward and it had a spike down, and ever since of not like the other ones where they started in January. This one started after March, just going up. It did a little gap up here, went all the way up to 130. It rejected it, came back down to this one level, 117, is above the 50. The 50 is very, very strong. I think it's going to go back up to that 30 if it continues with this trend, unless it surpasses this. And then I would think it would go back down because there's no area of support other than this up here. Let's see where the next level is above 130. So yeah, that's why we had said 130 because it hit it multiple times. So here, 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 here. And then if it surpasses this 130, the next level that we see is up here. And we have identified as 142 area. Okay, Home Depot looks like it's having some good barbecue days. 4th of July, people are making their stuff look nice for the visitors. It was flat. It created an area of support around that 300. It looks like it didn't reject it. Went up. It looks like it's a little stronger than before. I mean, they're stronger. So it's 310 now. Let's see if it gets back to this 315. Hey, it almost filled the gap. So did it fill the gap? Yeah, it filled the gap. So if it surpasses this 315, then here would be the next area that you kind of have to watch out for. Macy's. Um, Macy's has been having a last couple of good days, and that's not a surprise. I would think some people like to get their clothes on for their vacation.
Are you thinking about getting in it again?
I like to get it below 15 if possible, but it is a good. I do
Well,
like Macy's.
you used to always get it around 15, like in the
Yeah,
15.
I just didn't get it because I was focused on some other stuff.
Okay,
And
so you're saying you're not gonna get it this time.
I would like to say if it's under 15, I would like to. See,
Okay.
it's an area here, Quince. I do like Macy's though.
I thought you used to get it in the 15s. Okay, whatever. All right.
The last time I got it, I think it was 14.89 or Quince.
Okay.
It's closer to 15.95, $16. I said I would like to get it if possible, Quince or under.
Well, I was just a little surprised you didn't get it. I know their outlook
Yeah,
was
because
not that great.
I have a lot of shares on the other stuff that I got. That's why.
Okay. All right.
You know how I play.
I was thinking it was because of the outlook for Macy's. They said it wasn't that good on the last earnings.
Yeah, I think that had a factor in it, and I was
Because
distracted
I
by my.
liked it. I would have got it too. And I'm not a bigger fan of it as you. But
Yeah, I
so
like it, but I like my meaty better.
I decided for it.
Okay, so as predicted, as we've been talking about it, ad nauseum, it's gonna get through to 300. It's just taking a sweet time, Leanna. That's all. You're metalicious. We can ignore it until I see that this goes down below this 50 period, this thing is not stopping. So let's see where it rejects it. I think you're absolutely 100% correct. I think it's going to get to this 345 and then KAT, but it's going to take a sweet time to get there. And it's going to go with the trend of the bullish market. So we'll just,
I
if we
may buy in a little bit at 325, 330, and then wait for the 345, 350, just to see.
we
Or
have
maybe if
a,
the market seems strong, then I'll wait for the 350 mark.
yeah, so what we have said is we're going to put a notification for 300, but obviously we have to put another one to see if it gets to this 325 area, because then we have to watch out for the 345, 350 area.
Yeah, the market's been looking too strong. So we may have to just do the 350.
Exactly. So I could change the alerts and put it, let's
No,
put it
it's
to three.
good to have a 300 alert.
Yeah,
We're
because
gonna,
then you have
we're
that in
gonna
your mind.
stick, yeah,
There's nothing wrong.
yeah,
There's
we're
nothing wrong.
guns. I want 350, but at least I will be paying attention because sometimes I don't pay attention no matter.
There's nothing wrong with also adding another one. So when it hits this area, okay, good. We know it's gonna see what happens because hey, you never know with this market. It could come up here and be like, hey, boom, and go down. But you never know. Some, solar eclipse could happen and this thing could go down. So we want to make sure we see what happens after the 300, and we can put also another alert for 325 to see what happens after that as well. Okay. Where was it? We were metalicious. Okay, your softy. Yeah, see, it's back up to that 340. So you were correct, so it went down, but with the strength of the Mercado, it's gonna surpass this. And I think it's gonna go, oh, so it's at the ultimate high. The ultimate high, we had said 350 now.
I
So
still
we
want
have,
to short it.
so put a notification or put it on the notes, watch for 350 and see what happens because it may do a little bounce down before it continues as well. It might even go above a little bit, 350, and it might go like 355 or whatever. Okay.
Trust
MU
me,
had
I'll watch after 350.
MU had its earnings, and as you can see, it did bad. Even though the earnings were good, it's still losing dinero, still losing money, not making any money, but
That
which
should give it a little bit of a bump up. If freaking Carvana and Dashy and all those crazy stocks can get a bump up for less money made or less losses than the professionals thought. To me, yeah, MU should be able to get a bump up.
oh yes, so just because it's below the 50, you got to be careful if it continues to go down. So if it does a little bump above the 50, I think you're correct. So
Yeah, I'm gonna get out on Monday, but still, it should have gotten a little bump up because it did beat expectations. That's all I'm saying.
no, good
And
point.
we've seen worse things get a bump up for a few days and then they just crash again back to normal.
And I think you're right. It's because they want to hype it up and be like, oh yeah. So your Nikete, as you had predicted, you were correct. They didn't have the best earnings. They didn't have the worst earnings either. It wasn't even that bad. But I believe guidance or something. There was a little skip down. It's below the 50. I think it's gonna trend down based on this because the trend is 50 is there to below the 50 and below the 200. So and I think you might get your wishy wish to 100. So you may want to continue shorting this, but we shall see.
Yeah, I'm gonna see how long I can hold it, but yeah, I at least want to get down to like 108 or
Okay,
6 or something.
open door. So the trend is up, even there's a cross. We have said if it gets above $4, the next point in line is cinco. I think it's gonna get to cinco with the sentiment of the article that we had read regarding homes losing their value a little bit, so people could obviously buy more. So we shall see if our prediction is correcto. So $5 is next in line. So you could write it up there if you like the stock, or you can just wait for the rejection point. My beautiful Peloton is starting to curve a little bit upward. I'm gonna see if it gets back to ocho. Let me see if I have a notification here. I'm gonna edit this one. It's curving up a little bit, even though we know where it's gonna go. People are not really gonna go get a $5,000 machine when they can just go to the gym or go outside. This is the summertime, and yeah, I don't think people are gonna spend money on this. But and as
It'll
you can see,
bump back up in the new year, at least, and then we can get it again.
yes. But what I'm trying to say is at least yes, if you get above ocho right now, that's a good time to buy it and short it. And then of course, observe it and just wait for those bumps ups because that's the only time it's gonna get up in
No, I agree.
the November, December timeframe until it crashes. Okay. Your river is going up 1665. Um, they're still not making dinero. They did better than expected, obviously. But you have to keep in mind that Tesla test,
You
test,
know I'm
test.
out of this, right?
Yes, I know. I'm just making a
Okay.
general. Tesla is still the winner in this space, and they're not gonna let Rivian, Lucid, whatever, take any market. So people who have this, yes, you can write it up a little bit, maybe it to 20, but if it hits 20, it's a good rejection point. That's what
Um, Speaking of tech stocks, AI crap, what? Um, we need to add NVDA to the list because I gotta find out when's the time to short that thing because it's just I want to see how high can it go. Let's put it that way.
okay, let's add it to this thing. I have SQQQ here. I'm going to delete it and put NVDA. So there, it's been added. And we can go over it real quick. So obviously this thing is up the yin yang. It's very hyped up. It's the leader in the AI tech space. Everybody talking about this, making this like go up the yin yang on purpose and just hyping it up so people could obviously put money in the market and have their whole faith, just like a couple of years ago with Tesla. So this is the new Tesla. Instead of EV, now it's AI. So obviously it didn't like 440, but because it's still a higher low, it's gonna surpass this 440. I believe it might get up to 500 and then 600 if it continues this pace. But that's extra. But at least I think it's gonna get to 500 at this pace if it continues. Unless when is the next earnings?
I don't see why, but unless the powers that be wanna rack it up, but to
Yeah,
me,
it might get racked up to 500, I believe, just because they want to get more people hyped up into this, more people put in money so then they can get their money and then of course release the rug. It eventually has to come down and it has to fill this gap. At the way the momentum is going, people are still buying this thing. It's extra. It's 15 million shares volume. So Let's see if it hits 450 first. So from
Fake
420,
news.
huh?
Fake news.
Yes. So I don't know if you want to put a notification, 450 NVIDIA, see if it hits that, and we'll
Yeah,
continue.
you
We'll
gotta put it
continue.
on me.
Uh, you can put it.
Okay, I guess you don't care about it that much.
Okay, I'll put it. I'm right here.
No, I'll log in and do it. I
I'm
guess
already I'm
I guess
already logged in. There you
I
go.
will do it too because I think I care about this more than you. I think you're just like
It's
whatever.
expensive as heck, but hey, you're right. This is the leader, Leanne, so it's the good one.
Yeah,
The leader,
trust me,
el
there's
líder.
gonna be a time to
Tarjay, your favorito. Obviously, it's in a flat
let's just put
area.
it this way, I would get into Budweiser before I would get into Tarjay.
Let's see how Budweiser is doing, actually. Speaking of the devil. Mhm. Your beer, okay,
It's not hard to buy.
it's not hard to buy, which is a good
Still,
point.
can you put on daily? It's on a weekly thing.
Oh, sorry. That was an accidente.
Yeah, I figure.
Um, this was the low. The trend is still going down. It's still below the 200, and it's still below the 50. Let's see what happens. It's still on hard buy, so that's a good sign that obviously it's gonna go down. It may go back down here though to this 55. 55, 54. Let's see, 54 range.
Yeah, that's when I'll get it again when it's at 55. Notification. Alisa, we got 10 minutes. Notification of 54
And
or
but
less. What is it? What does it say? Exactly 54 or 54.50 or less?
I like 54.50 or less.
Oh, that's what it said.
Actually, yeah. Mm, I actually want to say 55 because then that's when we know we have to keep on observing it.
Whatever you want to do.
I'm gonna say 55 because then we can even just buy one share and see if it gets to that 54.50 or 54 that you're talking about.
No commentary.
Okay, so that was Bud. No comment on Uber. No comment on Wayfair. It's killing me. Walgreens. I believe this did really horrible the other day.
Oh, okay. We don't ever trade this away, so this is
I'm just
pro.
saying. I'm just saying is a gap. All I'm saying is a gap.
Well,
It
let's
did
look
really.
at. Let me see the earnings on it.
The earnings were not great. Therefore, it went down and it created a gappa.
Go. Can I see the whole chart? See where's the low? What do we have for history of lows on this tracker? So what is this supposed to be? Another P time? Okay, finally. We're going back to 2012. Elisa, this thing's dead.
Yes, it's like cray cray.
Oh,
It's that was back in 2011, 2010 that it hit this low. That it hit this low. No, wait, let's see.
it's 2012. So
Uh,
obviously you can't go wrong on this. That would be
huh?
the I said
What?
obviously you cannot go wrong on this. That would be totally irresponsible. But like, can you even go short?
Well, the next level down is over here. It's
Let's,
20.
let's keep it moving.
The
This
next level is Bente.
this is Packer. It didn't already gap down so much. I'm afraid to do either or.
I'm just saying we don't have to do anything. I'm just observing what happened.
Yeah, I'm.
It's
I'm
it's
surprised we never looked at this, but
it's so this that this price was 12 over 11 years ago.
yeah,
Okay.
I no commentary. I just don't know what to say. It's sad.
Your Walmart may hit the 160, maybe in 3 to 4 days. XOM, 107.20.
I wish to
And
get
that's it.
your blue wire.
That's it. We only have 6 minutes left. Let's look at the next group of stocks.
I think I'm done. Holy,
Spicy might have a jump up on Monday, and Lifty.
what happened with Spice?
Air, ABNB, General Electric.
Believe it or not, let's look at Spice real quick. For some reason, I was wondering if Spice would get affected by that crazy blimp, the summer, not blimp, the submarine that blew up in the water.
A summer
Uh,
rain. The
one
weather?
really,
The
um,
what?
the submarine that was visiting the Titanic.
Oh,
I'm
oh, oh.
wondering, submersible they call it,
Mm-hmm.
the fake submarine that was built in someone's garage. Um,
Poor people.
yeah, uh,
But they
that,
were stupid enough to get in that
yeah,
stuff in the
some
first place
people
because
were
they.
like, there was a guy and his son, and the father was gonna take it and take the son, and the son was like, he looked into it and he was like, Dad, this is cray cray. I don't
Mm,
think this is gonna hold up. And he told the father, and then the father had a visit, I guess, with the developer or the guy
the
who was
CEO.
funding this CEO or whatever he is. And he was said that he was questioning him. He came in at a local airport that usually most people don't take when flying into the father city. And he had questioned the guy about it, the CEO, and he was like, "Oh yeah, well I came in at this airport because I came in my experimental aircraft. He had built a private plane or jet,
Mm-hmm.
and it was this experimental jet that he had built, and so he flew in on this experimental jet, and he was telling him about the so-called experimental submarine, and
My
he said."
goodness.
The father said that was enough to say, hey, this guy has a level of excitement and a level of risk that I just don't have. And so
Mm-hmm.
that's when he knew that he wasn't going to go on the submarine with him.
Mm-hmm.
Because when he
Well, it
got
was a
told
good
that,
thing.
yeah, yeah, just by
Yeah.
the grace of God. So,
Yeah. My mom said something funny.
yeah.
She was like, or like her neighbor did. We were talking about this, and
Uh,
she's like, "Why would you want to go see the Titanic? That thing is cursed. You're probably gonna get killed just going down there because it's just a bad, like, bad omen." And
yeah,
my mom is like, "Yeah, people are always trying to like just push the envelope of getting themselves killed. It's like, why, like,
we have
the,
every year people going to Salem to do haunted house things. And it's just,
it's just
it's a
like, but
lot.
it's underwater. It's like, okay,
Yeah,
like, you know."
I,
So
I
my neighbor,
agree.
it just not the way that my neighbor said it was so funny. She's like,
Yeah.
that thing is cursed on its own. Like, why would you want to like be near that bad omen? You knew he was gonna get killed just trying to
Well,
attempt.
DD had a good show where he was talking about how people talk about the private market and it's the free market and let the free market do its thing. He's like,
Yes, it's not
if
no
you
free
wanna
market.
if you wanna go to the be in the free market, you go to the Congo and get your ass killed. But there's
Yes.
rules and regulations for a reason, and these
Yep.
people, they want the free market when it benefits them, when they have to look for their submarine and people are being looked for. And he's like, this was in international waters where this guy built this business and designed it in international waters so that he did not have to meet these standards
Regulations.
and regulations of a
Mm-hmm.
submersible if he was in not international waters. So it was kind of like, hey, you get what you get. And I know why we have to do is the same reason why you have to take care of people when they come to the hospital. But he made a good point that these people, they talk about the free market, which is just BS, because there's really no free market.
There
It's
is
a
no
rig
free
market,
market
and people
because people
that
don't. You
have
if
any
you live
sense
you
want a rig market.
that's why he had said that's why he had given the point where if you want it to be free, then just go to the Congo because then you can do
Uh-huh.
whatever you want and
Yeah,
nobody's gonna
and you'll just
say
get killed.
because it's a cutthroat situation there.
Uno
There's
y
no,
cinco.
but yeah, that's it. That's spicy for you.
So
And
you think now we're going to have a chance to maybe come back up a little bit? Let me
yeah, I
put
had a,
PCE. Yeah, I kind of agree. Let's put on the thing. SPCE.
it might come
Um,
up a little bit because it had a horrible dia. It's still not completely below the 50, but it is still below the 200. So that's
okay,
something you want to kind of
yeah,
keep in
yeah,
mind. It might do a little bump up because it is a lunes.
yeah. Let me put this in the notes. Okay.
Okay, we
All
got
right.
less than a minute left, and you
So
will send out the notes.
yeah, I'll send it out when I do this thing. All right. You can stop sharing your screen if you like.
Da, 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 da.
Any plans for the rest of the noche?
Just go to sleep. I gotta go to work tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. Oh shoot, you're right. I do too.